Welcome, friends, haters, gentle lovers, and feeders. Join me as we experience together the most bafflingly interesting person on the internet. On today's episode, Amberlynn Reed does basically nothing. Hello, my friends. So I click on Amberlynn's video, and the very first thing we see is the instruction manual for her Lego car that she's so proud of. So, of course, she really wants you guys to know that she's working hard on this Lego. It's hard, you guys. And then also, she's going to be talking about BPD. Yeah, so I think what's going to happen here, because it says the 9 BPD criteria traits, not criterions, like she said last time, but she's wanting us to hear the traits and go, yeah, that does sound like Amberlynn. But I think what's going to actually happen is she's going to list off these traits, and I think she's going to disprove that she has BPD rather than prove it. You know what I mean? So let's see. Let's just see what she actually proves with her 9 BPD criteria traits. So if you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not going to lie.
All right, you guys, I am not vlogging today, but I did promise you I would give you guys a day-by-day update on this build that I am doing. So in total, there is 584 steps. I am currently on step 151, and this is how it is looking. Absolutely insane. Like, what? How have I done this? I really don't know. There it is.
She's 34 years old, you guys. She's 34 years old, and she is mesmerized by the fact that she was able to follow instructions and put Legos where they go. Now, is this complicated? Yes, of course it is. But she has instructions. Like, it's just showing her pictures. She's following pictures.
Hello, hello. So it is March 1st. As you guys saw, I did not.
Now, if somebody had said, hey, here's a car, here's all the pieces, have at it, and she put that together, I'd be like, wow, that's really impressive. But they didn't. They gave her every step-by-step instruction. And it's taken her like several days just to get to that point. You know, she has shown the step-by-step progress, and she's nowhere near finished, right? She's only like a fifth of the way through, so whatever.
Off vlog yesterday, I did give you a build update though.
As you guys see, I just didn't work yesterday, but I showed you 5 seconds of the Lego that I'm building. This is her job, bro. She spent a few seconds yesterday filming. Okay, I don't need to explain it. Just think about that, right? I didn't vlog yesterday, but I did give you a build update. Oh my God.
My mom asked if I wanted to go to bingo, and like I was just debating all day long, and I was like,
so then what did she do all day? I'm sorry, I'm stuck on this, but what did she do all day? Because that one Lego should not take that long. So she may have done that for a couple hours. What else did she do all day? You know? And I guess she's going to tell us that she went to bingo or something, but still, like, there's a lot of hours in the day. She spent 10 seconds filming her her build update, and then nothing. Then what else? Oh my God.
no, I felt bad because I could tell she wanted me to go, but like I have zero energy. Like ever since I got COVID, like my whole body and mind has just like changed. I have not been able to like gain my energy, stamina. Like my brain is still foggy. My breathing is worse than ever. Like it's not the greatest feeling. So then she called me again today and she was like, we're going to bingo. Do you want to go tonight? So since I said no to last night, I was like, you know what, Mom? Yes, I will go. So I'm gonna go to bingo. This is like the first time that I went and have done anything in almost a month. So I'm really excited to see my mom and hang out with her. And
she was so excited to get her negative COVID test so that she could go out and do things. And that was like a week ago. She's just choosing not to do anything. And I tell you what, she loved having COVID because it gave her an excuse to do nothing, right? Which she always does nothing, but this way she can like pretend like it's okay, like it's normal. This so far is really just showing how lazy and just unmotivated she is and how little she actually does on a day-to-day basis.
I know a lot of you was actually worrying about her thinking that she got COVID because I told you guys that she ended up messaging me saying that she doesn't feel well. Well, she took 2 COVID tests and they were both negative and she just was feeling under the weather. She feels a lot better now, so that's good.
So do you guys remember I don't know how long ago it was. I actually went back and looked for it, but there was a time when she was kind of hinting that Mama Lynn might have dementia, saying that she was having memory problems, and they went to the doctor together. And it was a real quick snippet of them at the doctor, and she was crying, and she was so scared, and then never said anything about it again. And then in the live stream that she did, the live stream, somebody asked, does your mom have dementia? And she was like, no. Almost like, what are you talking about? She had no idea what they were talking about. So that's weird, man. Did she just make that up? I don't know. Anyway, I just thought that was weird.
Really good events. So like the cigarette smoke isn't as intense because I'm telling you, my lungs do not need that. Like I have not vaped in over a month. Like it's been a long time, maybe like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And I don't plan on doing it again for like a hot minute because I'm telling you, like my breathing is already so bad.
Okay, so in this video, it was uploaded on February 10th, but it was recorded on January 31st. And you can see her hanging out with her mom. And at this point,
black and red. I'm so full.
She steps aside and you can see the smoke coming right there. So we know for sure she was smoking on January 31st because that's when this was recorded, you know? So if that is the last time she smoked, then it was about a month ago, right? Because it was the last day of January and she is on the first day of March. So she basically just didn't smoke all of February. Again, assuming that she didn't smoke at all after that we saw, you know?
And I know that on days where I vape more than usual, like my breathing is kind of hecticana. So it's like,
First of all, ayo, also, duh, of course your breathing is hecticana if you're smoking, you stupid ass. Like, what do you expect? What a stupid thing to say.
I need to just stay away from that.
Why?
You think?
Wait.
I won at bingo, but here's the build update. Day 4, I'm on step 181 out of 584 steps, and this is how it looks so far.
That was her entire day, was just saying I don't breathe very well anymore, filming for 10 seconds at bingo, and then showing us a picture of her Lego again. She's got 2 whole days, actually 3 whole days, because the first day was just a build update. So she's got 3 days and 2.5 minutes so far.
So it is the next day. It is March 2nd. So I actually saw my mom for a bit today, but I did not vlog that. I've had a pretty decent day. And if you guys hear noises in the background, it's because I'm currently drying some clothing. This is a big box because I'm actually fixing to like remodel, for the lack of a better word, out with the old and with the new, a lot of like my kitchen stuff. So I might vlog some of that. We'll see.
There is definitely a better word than remodel. Reorganize, clean, redecorate. Remodel is not the right word. For lack of a better word. There is not a lack of a better word.
So as you guys probably remember, I got recommended by a professional 2 borderline personality disorder books.
Hang on. She just said she got recommended these books by a professional. Not my therapist, not my psychologist, but a professional. Okay. Of course she's just self-diagnosing.
I got recommended by a professional 2 borderline personality disorder books. And instead of doing both at the same time, because I don't want to get overwhelmed on top of doing therapy, I decided to start with this one. And as you guys know,
she decided. Her therapist didn't tell her anything. Her therapist is not guiding her through this. She's just deciding what books she wants and how she wants to do them and in what order. That's not how that works.
No, I want to keep therapy sacred to myself, but I do want to share.
She still says sacred. What an idiot.
My struggles with borderline personality disorder because I struggle bad. And that is a very big part of me. And I want to be very transparent in my journey of like healing that part of me. So we're going to talk about chapter 1 today. So
this is all part of being the victim, right? Is I want to heal from my BPD. It is a big part of me and I want to heal from it. So basically what she's saying is I don't want to be held accountable because I am at least looking like I'm actually trying to fix things, you know? And to her, healing is just a get out of jail free card. She can sit here and pretend like she's got BPD and pretend like that's the cause of all of her problems.
Chapter 1 is called BPD 101, and some quotes from it that I want to read are: most people misunderstand what borderline personality disorder is and how it impacts people's lives, which is very true. It's not just the lives of the person that has it, but it's also like the lives of the people around that person. Also, something else it says is getting a clear picture of your BPD is the start of a journey of self-exploration, which will allow you to grow beyond your BPD. And that change is possible. It says that many individuals who meet the criteria for BPD can look back at their childhood and adolescence and see the beginning of the symptoms and patterns, which is so beyond true. Like, I look back and realize that, like, at the age of 16, I was struggling. So there's 9 criteria listed, and an individual...
She had no friends. Nobody wanted to be around her. And she was just awful to everybody. And she looks back and she goes, now I have an excuse. I can pretend like I have BPD. And then now it all makes sense. You know, instead of actually taking accountability and actually figuring out what's really wrong, she just found that BPD feels like a pretty good way to just excuse all of her behavior. As you know, we cannot be held accountable for anything we do. By the way, the last of the orange chicken from Cheesecake Factory was delicious. BPDO, did you eat my orange chicken? Sorry, my BPD. Thank you, BPDO.
Needs to meet at least 5 of them to be diagnosed and qualify for the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. I'm going to read the 9 to you, and then I'm going to tell you guys which ones that I have. So number 1 is frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. 2.
I think it's funny. She's going to tell us what she has. So here's the thing. We are all convinced that she can't be properly diagnosed with really anything, but especially what she probably actually has, which would be NPD. Because she lies to the therapist, right? Or the psychiatrist or the psychologist. When she goes into the office, she will tell them what she wants them to know, not the truth. So I don't know that it's lying 100%. I think it's about half lying, but I think she also believes some of this stuff. I think she has convinced herself that she has some traits. So I think it's about half lying and half delusion. So when she goes into the psychologist, if she ever did, which she doesn't, but if she ever did, she couldn't be properly diagnosed because she wants to be the victim. She wants to look as pitiful as possible. You know, she wants them to feel sorry for her. And so she will come up with whatever story she can come up with to get the answer that she wants. And again, a lot of it is lying, but I think a lot of it's lying to herself.
A pattern of unstable and intense interpersonal relationships characterized by alternating between extremes of idealization and devaluation. 3, identity disturbance, markedly and persistently unstable self-image or sense of self. My dryer just went off. Hold on a second.
Edit that part out, idiot. You're editing the video. Just edit. Oh my God.
Number 4 is impulsivity in at least 2 areas that are potentially self-damaging. For example, spending, sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, binge eating. Number 5 is reoccurrent suicidal behavior, gestures or threats, or self-mutilating behavior. Number 6 is affective instability due to a marked reactivity of mood. So for example, intense episodic dysphoria, irritability, or anxiety usually lasting a few hours and only rarely more than a few days. Number 7 is chronic feelings of emptiness. Number 8 is inappropriate, intense anger or difficulty controlling anger. For example, frequent displays of temper, constant anger, reoccurrent physical fights. So the last one, which is number 9, transient stress-related paranoid ideation or severe dissociative symptoms. And out of the 9, I have all 9. But there is one that I even questioned.
Of course she does. But here's the thing. A lot of those that she always talks about with the abandonment and the hyperfixation on relationships and stuff, those can also be explained pretty easily with NPD. I am not a doctor and I am not diagnosing anybody with anything. So right here it says, be preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate, or like the perfect relationship, right? So that is absolutely something that she does. She just, and that's the idolization, right? That's the hyperfixation on it because, and that's why when she gets into a relationship, she's always like, I've never had a love like this. This is perfect and they're perfect and it's so extreme and it's so wonderful. It's the best love I've ever experienced because she's hyperfixated on this. And then the take advantage of others to get what they want. Obviously, she does that. We have heard lots of stories about that. An inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. So all of these go together, right? The preoccupation with the fantasies about her perfect relationship, and then also taking advantage of them at the same time, and the inability to recognize or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. All those go together, and there's a lot of other things too. You know, behaving in a conceited or arrogant way. They feel like they deserve privileges and special treatment. So all of those sort of mingle and mix together to create a horrible relationship So while she's sitting here saying, I am hyperfixated on these relationships and reading off that list of BPD symptoms that one by one, that sounds right, but all of that can be explained by the mixing of all the MPD symptoms that she pretty obviously has. Because BPD, all those 9 criteria, don't explain all these other things. The envious of others or belief that others envy them, insist on having the best of everything, which even when it comes to like doctors, she's always like, I have, when she was supposedly getting her weight loss surgery, it was always, I have the best doctor. She's always got the best of everything, right? An unreasonably high sense of self-importance and excessive admiration. Feel like they deserve special privileges and special treatment. Oh, expect to be recognized as superior even without achievements, right? Like, even if she meets those 9 criteria of BPD, which I don't think she does, I think she's misreading what's happening, the rest of her can be explained with all this. So all of it can be explained with the symptoms of NPD. She can sort of tweak it a little bit and make it fit into BPD, but this explains everything.
Of marking off because it's so low, like on the totem pole. So next part of this chapter was talking about how BPD is a spectrum. It says in here that the intensity and severity of each part of the criteria is unique to each person. So I had to answer a ton of questions to see like where you fall on the spectrum, and I fell on extreme. You're supposed to circle, is this...
See? She's got to have the best of everything. Here you go. Have an unreasonably high sense of self-importance and need excessive admiration. Believe they are superior to others and can only spend time with or be understood by equally special people and make achievements seem bigger than they are. Like, yeah, of course she was going to fall on the extreme scale because everything she does is extreme. Everything she does is on the best or most extreme end of anything.
Statement for you: mild, moderate, severe, or extreme. Gave a ton of statements. So like one that I circled extreme on was frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. There was quite a few that I circled.
And of course she's diagnosing herself. All this is her deciding what she is. And she's like, yeah, I fell on the extreme scale. Yeah, if you're filling it out, you're going to make it seem as bad as you can. The saddest part about this is there are a lot of people watching her that are going to just eat this up and believe her and feel so sorry for her and give her exactly what she wants. And that is pity and attention and make her feel like a victim.
Circled extreme and severe on. Actually, I circled severe and extreme on every single one except for one. And then another part of this chapter was just like a Q&A. So obviously I'm not going to read all of my answers to you guys because some of them are personal, but one of them I can read to you guys just so you guys can like understand me a little bit more. In what part or parts of your life, for example, relationship with family and friends, work, how you see yourself, and so on, do these symptoms cause the greatest problems? When I'm in a romantic relationship with someone, it is the worst. So that's where it causes the greatest problems. But it has caused problems with family/friends as well. So it's very rare that it causes.
Yeah, and that's exactly what NPD would do too, right? None of this means anything. It's her diagnosing herself, her filling everything out by herself. So this is just completely pointless. And her imaginary therapist is, what is she going to do? Just show her the book? And the therapist is going to go, yeah, that sounds good. I think that, sure, okay. You're extreme. You are extreme. You win. You win BPD. This is so stupid.
Causes problems within my family, thankfully. But like if I have a friendship where I'm extremely close to them and I see them like a lot, it can definitely cause problems in that friendship. And
yeah, imagine that. The more people spend time with you, the less they want to be around you. Again, narcissism is a great explanation for that as well. Probably a better explanation. Because again, as we heard in the Casey, Beck, Nerfy, and Jade, Not That Jade podcast, Nerfy and Beck talked about experience with BPD. Now, Nerfy said that she actually has BPD. Beck said they know somebody that has it. And both of them were like, they don't treat people like that. People with BPD don't treat people the way she does. So even though all of this is complete nonsense and totally pointless because she's making it up as she goes, even if all of that was right, it wouldn't explain her horrible behavior and the way she treats people.
And obviously when it comes to a partner, because I am talking to them a lot, and they become almost like someone I'm reliant on. And I know that's also due to my BPD. When I say reliant, I mean I'm reliant on them like mentally, emotionally, due to like the fear of abandonment, which is really where BPD is like rooted from. And
it's not even a fear of abandonment. It is likely her sense of power. That's how she controls them. That's a narcissist trait. She doesn't want them to leave. She doesn't want them to see anybody else. She doesn't want them to have any other friends because she wants to control them. She wants to have all the power. If you talk to anybody who has a relative or anybody in their life that is a true narcissist, they act just like her. That's what they do. They isolate you so that they can have you all to themselves, not because of fear of abandonment, but because they need control.
Last thing I want to share is a quote from here. Feeling alone is very common for people with BPD, so common that it's in the criterion, which in parentheses it says chronic feelings of emptiness, but you're not alone. Approximately 18 million or nearly 6% of adults in the United States have been diagnosed with BPD. That shocked me, and it definitely made me feel less alone. And this first chapter was honestly so just like validating. Like I've already done the whole criteria thing because when I was diagnosed, I had to go through all that, but it's like just doing it again and like thinking of it differently with like a whole different mind frame. I'm able to be more like transparent with myself because I'm not ashamed anymore. For the longest time, like I was just
She's not ashamed. Oh my God, that is infuriating. She loves to talk about any kind of mental issue that she has. Even if she just makes it up, right? Even if she just thinks she might have it, she starts talking about it. Ashamed of herself. Shut up. Shut up. She is loving it. Like she is in heaven right now with all this BPD stuff. She has found a way that she thinks she can excuse anything she does. Yeah, I'm sorry for putting dog crap in your shoes. It was my BPD. I gotta buy new socks, bro. And she can sort of just make it up as she goes, and she can read these workbooks, and her followers, her babies, are like, yeah, I'm so glad you're getting help. You're so brave. You're such a hero for speaking up. Yeah, she is living this up. She gets to just make it up as she goes. She gets to be the victim and the hero because she's so brave for sharing her story, and she's not ashamed anymore. Shut up.
ashamed. That's why when people would be like, Amberlynn, I think you have borderline personality disorder, like I would become so defensive. Like, I don't understand why. I don't know why.
It's funny that she pretends like she was defensive about borderline personality disorder, which I don't think she ever was. I think as soon as she heard about it, she was like, me, that's me. I've got that. That sounds like me. I want that. I want that. And she ran to YouTube to start talking about it, you know. But NPD, you start talking about that, and she says that she went to a therapist and said, I brought up narcissism one time, and they were like, no way. Like, she is adamant that she does not have any narcissistic traits at all. But she doesn't know what that means. I don't think she understands what narcissism really is.
Anyone would ever be ashamed or embarrassed of something that they went through that caused them to have this. Like, it's not your fault. Like, so if you're watching and you're struggling and you have any sort of like shame or embarrassment, simply don't. All right, you guys, we're going to do a taste test. It is these.
Anything for her to play the victim, right? The things that caused me to have this. I am absolutely convinced that her childhood was nowhere near as bad as she says it is. Like, we know she was in foster care. You know, that's been proven. She was taken away from her parents. You know, so I'm not saying it was great by any means, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as she makes it sound, because she makes it sound like it was just torture constantly. And she always hints that there was some really, really bad things that happened, you guys. I don't think it's what she's claiming it is, you know.
Duos, beef jerky, situation type deal. It's a feed your sweet side.
Oh yeah, let's eat some more. That's great. Good thinking.
And feed your spicy side. Mango and jalapeno beef jerky. So I am a little nervous. Wait, what's the date on this? Oh, okay. Not until 2026. It's because I've had this for a while now. But I was feeling a little snacky, so I said, why not try this? Ooh, that smells so good. Stop right now.
Yeah, it's beef freaking jerky. Look at how round her face is. She is really out here saying that she gained 2 pounds, only 2 pounds over the last few weeks. If she only gained 2 pounds over the last few weeks, I'm the emperor of Uranus. And I know it's pronounced Uranus, but that's not as funny.
All right, you guys, day 5. Like I said, I'm going to do daily updates on this. I'm on step 218 on this build that I am doing. And this is how it is looking.
So in the last video where she was talking about her working on this car, I got a comment that a lady said, I got this car, this particular set, for my grandson, and it took them like 6 hours to make it. So, but she is so proud of this thing. She wants you to know she is working hard on this Lego.
Absolutely intense. I have had so many difficulties. I've had so many struggles where a piece wouldn't go in, or I thought I messed up, or something just wasn't going right. Oh, it has been a challenge, but it has been a rewarding challenge.
Rewarding, you guys. Like, imagine that your life. Now, here's the thing. I understand that it's fun to put Legos together. And when you're done, it does feel like you've accomplished something, right? Because you took the time to do it. So I get that. But I mean, this is kind of sad. She's treating it like it's an actual, like, real life accomplishment, you know, not just a fun thing to do. But I guess that's what happens when you don't have any real life accomplishments in your entire existence.
Hello. So it is March 3rd, and I literally just remembered as I was putting away some of my clothing that I forgot to like actually do the Torrid try-on haul. So my actual Torrid haul was a few vlogs ago, but we're gonna try on those clothes now and see if they fit. All right, first things first is this dress. The sleeves are so cute actually, and I really like the cut of it. I like how it goes up right there, and it is a little see-through in the boobage area, but I am no prude, so I am okay with that. We do have pockets, which we love. I love how tight it is here and then a little loose here. And then as we back up, this is what it looks like. Has like a little frilly on the bottom here.
Those arms, man. She just stares at herself the whole time and is just like, yeah, I like what I see.
Here, just like it does on the sleeves. So it actually fits me pretty well, to be honest. I really like how it looks from the front, but from the side, it's kind of meh because it does have stitching on the bottom here that makes it go in on the bottom, and I don't really care for that. So next is the Mean Girls. Why are you so obsessed with me? I thought this sweater was literally perfect. 1, love the color pink. 2, love the movie Mean Girls. And 3, that is a question I ask all the time. So first things first,
I'm not surprised she likes the movie Mean Girls. I think she watched it and was like, oh, I love Regina George so much. She's my hero.
inside of this is like the softest thing I have ever felt. So when we back up here, we can see that it's actually a really good length. I find with my body type and the way that Torrid is, sometimes things run super short and it can be like this, or sometimes the front part can even be like super high up like this, and I'm just like, no. So yeah, it's super cozy and I love it. Oh my gosh. So next is the checkered over the shoulder sweater, and it just feels huge. Like my arms feel super small and itty bitty, which sometimes that is why, you know, girly pop loves a sweater, but it's like kind of annoying and it's not easy to move in, because while this is super loose, down here feels like a little tight, a little snug, a little short. But if I
She needs it to be easy to move in for all her activity.
pull it up above my booty there, it all just feels
She's got to rest it on the shelf, you know?
loosey-goosey and cozy. But that's what I was saying before, like I don't want to have my butt out for the whole world to be looking at. But I will say it's super cute. I love like over the shoulder type of looks.
She said, I don't want my butt to be out for everybody to be looking at. Like, I don't think you have much of a choice. It's going to be out no matter what you do. What do you expect it to do? Disappear? You can't really hide it.
So next is the tragic tee, where I accidentally bought 2 of them, but I'm just gonna give the other one to my mom. So I love this one. I love how light it feels. I love the length.
Is that her throwing shade at her mom? This big giant shirt for morbidly obese people? I'll just give one of them to my mom. Like, we know what you're saying.
Like, I have 0 complaints about this. Like, it's cozy, it's breathable. I'm giving tragic.
She has this strange, like, watch.
Like, I have 0 complaints.
I've seen this before where she has like this big lump on this one side. See, and it's only here. Like, I mean, there's a lump here too, but it's like much bigger on this side. Is it just that it's lopsided? I don't know, but it's just very large on this side. All right, so here, this is what I'm talking about. See? And this is a while back. This is back from 2021. So this is 4 years ago. and it's just this big lump on her right side. I noticed that back then, and I was just like, what is that? I mean, I think it's just the distribution of her fat and stuff, but it's still there, you know?
Like, it's cozy, it's breathable. I'm giving tragic every single day of my life, so it's definitely made for me. Last but not least, we have the tank top, which is actually like a sleeper tee. So it fits well. It's super loose, it's long, and this is what it looks like from the side.
Unless she's getting stuff like this for like secret feeder videos, she is never wearing this, ever. We're never gonna see this again. I doubt we're gonna see any of these again. The only one that I can see her wearing again is the "Are You Obsessed With Me?" Mean Girls shirt, because if it's a loose fitting like sweatshirt, something like that, she might wear that every once in a while. But the rest of it, she buys all these things and just never wears them.
This is probably not something that I would ever like wear out, but if I did, I'd probably have like a cardigan over it, and I'd have to lose a little bit more weight to feel like comfortable in it. And by the way, don't let anyone ever make you feel bad of like, if you're wearing a sleeper tee in public and you feel comfy, do it. If you're wearing a bikini top as a bralette, do it. If you're wearing a long shirt as a dress, do it. Do you, wear what you love and wear what you feel good in and what you feel comfortable in. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that was a pretty good Torrid haul. And we can't forget about this cardigan. So I did try it on in my...
Guys, gross.
Last video when I actually did the haul, and I absolutely love it. I almost cannot wait until like the cold weather comes back, because it's fixing to be spring and then summer, and your girl is not going to be wanting to wear this. All right, you guys, we're going to try another Factor meal. So this one I'm very nervous about. It's the Louisiana shrimp with smoked Gouda cauliflower grits, chicken andouille tomato gravy, and there's also some broccoli in here.
What's the timer for?
I'm hesitant, okay? It is a little liquidy compared to like what I was expecting it to be like, because trust me, I've had grits before, love them, but they did not look like this. I'm fully aware that this is cauliflower grits, so it is different, but let's try it. So shrimp for me is hit or miss depending on texture. I love the taste of shrimp, but texture is where it kind of gets me.
Does she just have the timer so that she can like prove to everybody that she's eating slowly or something? I don't get the timer.
Gotta blow it off first. The texture and the taste is actually perfect. I was so hesitant on that. I'm gonna get some of the juices. Well, the grits. I mean, this is like a, what did it say? Chicken andouille tomato gravy. So
on her title, it says, "Are mukbangs coming back?" Yeah, they've been back. And she's got a stupid smirk on her face the entire time. She knows what she's doing. And the thing is, it's rage bait, and it's kind of a catch-22, because yeah, she'll get some more money because of this, but she's only harming herself. The longer she does this kind of stuff, the less time she has just on Earth.
So maybe that's why it's so liquidy, but it's good, by the way. It's storming here.
I also noticed that she hasn't said anything about Weight Watchers.
I'm telling you, their vegetables are on point. But yeah, it's storming here. It was hailing earlier. Not my power, I was gonna say my power. My internet is flickering. Genuinely, it's just been hecticana.
You're welcome.
So I'm sure some of you are like, why is there a stopwatch behind you? Well, I'll explain in a second. Let me enjoy this delicious broccoli. A lot of people think that like mukbangs are coming back. Literally no. People are thinking because I'm sitting down eating a meal that I'm like highly editing that it's a mukbang. Literally no.
I think mukbang is just eating on camera.
Mukbang is where you eat large quantities of food and you get to watch the person actually enjoy it, chew their food, etc., etc. But that is not what's happening here.
Let's see. Let's find out what a mukbang really is. I still think it's annoying that she still says, after all this time, she still says mukbang. Okay.
Muckbang.
Muckbang. Hey, we figured it out, everybody. It just took 5 seconds. All right, so mukbang, most of the definitions I'm finding are this. It translates to roughly eating broadcast. So it's just eating food on camera. That's it. It doesn't have anything to do with chewing. It doesn't have anything to do with the amount of food necessarily. Now, this does say a video, especially one that is live streamed, that features a person eating large quantities of food and addressing the audience. But it does say the translation for mukbang is eating broadcast. That's it. It doesn't have to be a large quantity of food or anything. It's just eating on camera. That's it. So sorry, honey. It is absolutely a mukbang. It's not a mukbang. It's a mukbang.
I have been editing down my eating so much that I take out 97% of my chewing. And the reason why I have this little stopwatch back here is because people were like, oh my God, she's eating it so fast. She's just like gulping it down in like 2 minutes. No, it's because I'm like highly editing it because it's not a mukbang. I'm literally a person who lives alone and who eats alone every single day, all of my meals, and I get lonely. Yes, I do. So sometimes it's nice to come on here and be like, let's try a factor meal. And I think it's a really cool concept for people who like.
How sad is it that she is so lonely and that she has so little in her life that her only real contact with people is to film herself eating, talking to nobody, talking to just her phone, and then posting it to the internet. Like, that's her conversation. Her dinner conversation is with her phone. If she was live streaming, I could kind of understand because she could actually have conversations. It would still be a little weird, but I mean, it would make more sense. It would be more social that way. But this is sad, man.
Are too lazy to cook, or who can't cook, or don't have time to cook. Like, it doesn't even matter why you have it, but a mukbang is very much not what I'm doing. I don't know, it's just weird. It's almost like people.
It's exactly what you're doing. 100% the definition of what you're doing.
People want that, but they say that they don't, but they really do. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a form of like reverse psychology. I don't know.
When she says people want this, people want that, like, those are two separate people, right? There are people that want that, and they're the people that would enjoy watching you eat, which is creepy and gross. But the other people don't want that, right? So, like you like to say, two things can happen at once. So if you're getting people saying, I don't want that, and people saying, I do want that, that doesn't mean one person is saying two different things, right? She's treating the audience like it's one entity, like it's one person saying both things. No, it's just some people want it, some people don't. Unfortunately, the people that do want it are the ones that are going to fund her lifestyle, and they're also weirdos.
A little eat with me moment, and I'm lonely, and I want to eat with the people who enjoy eating with me.
Nobody's eating with you. What are you talking about? You're eating in front of your phone. This is pathetic.
A lot of you, and there's a lot of you who feel alone and who do message me and say, I miss eating with you. And I'm never going to film like full-fledged mukbangs again. It's not going to happen. But little moments like this throughout my vlog, I don't mind doing that. You guys trust me, I get it.
She's always got these mental gymnastics and all these little caveats as to why what she's doing isn't a problem, right? She decided that since I'm not chewing as much, I guess, and I'm not eating giant quantities, it's not a mukbang. So it's fine. I can just do this. I can just eat on camera. No big deal. Which, who cares? At this point, we all know she's never going to stick to a diet. We all know she's never going to lose a substantial amount of weight. So why doesn't she just say, fuck it, you know, I'm just going to eat on camera. Who cares? Just do what you want to do, because guess what? That's what you're going to do anyway. But for some reason, she really feels the need to justify everything she does. And at this point, nobody's stupid. We understand it's just because she just does whatever she wants to do, period. She has no self-control. She has no willpower. She just wants to be satisfied at any given moment all day long, period. That's all she wants. So she's just going to do what makes her happy, full stop.
I know a lot about loneliness, and I'm really working on like bettering myself, and I'm on Weight Watchers. Definitely not going to be perfect, but I'm working on my relationship with food, and I like sharing that with you guys. And I think Factor is really going to help me with that because it's such a wide variety of foods as well.
And again, she immediately hedges. I'm on Weight Watchers. I'm not going to be perfect. What that translates to is I'm on Weight Watchers. I'm not going to actually do it the way it's supposed to be done. I'm just going to do whatever I want. We know that. She knows that, right? She's stupid, but she's not that stupid. She knows she's never going to follow through with any of this stuff. But I think she understands that the cycle is profitable for her. Every time she tries to go back to Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, all that stuff, she knows it gets a lot of attention because it's rage bait. She knows people are going to tune in and comment and be like, oh, here we go again. That's why she has this smirk plastered on her face the whole time. She knows she's just going to be raking in that engagement by saying, I'm on Weight Watchers and I'm not going to follow it. I don't give a shit. So tell me what you think about that, everybody.
I'm absolutely shocked with how good the shrimp is. And the cauliflower grits, I would have no idea that that's cauliflower. But I like cauliflower, so I'd like it regardless.
Okay, real quick. Do you say cauliflower? I've just always said cauliflower. So I don't know if that's a weird thing. All right, so this is one of my pet peeves from her.
My favorite milk? I don't know, like chocolate. My favorite milk?
Milk. And of course, pitcher instead of picture. And there's so many things she says that just are like nails on a chalkboard. And cauliflower is one of those things, but I don't know if that's wrong, you know, because I guess it could be said either way, but I've always just said cauliflower. So let me know, do you say cauliflower? Can I make fun of her for saying cauliflower, or is that normal?
Piece of broccoli. She's a vegan. Now we have our last shrimp here. Yum. Definitely gonna be getting this one again. This was actually one of the ones that I gave my stepdad and he said he really liked it. All right, so I ate it all. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Wow. And thank you guys for having a meal with me. All right, day 6. I'm on step 242.
She's like halfway through and it's been 6 days. What a weird thing to be so proud of.
And this is how it is looking. We now have 2 seats. Look at that. So I actually just got done editing this video and I was about to like get it scheduled and all that stuff, and I realized I do not have an outro. I didn't realize how long this video was, but I hope that you guys did enjoy it and enjoyed the length of it, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Got her. I stopped it before the bye-bye smooch. We cannot have that. I can't stand that. All right. So I think all she did with this BPD criteria was prove that it didn't prove anything because it was all just her filling it out, right? she was just making it up as she went. But I think, if anything, all of her behavior can be explained with NPD, probably better than BPD. So I don't think she did what she set out to do. Also, just noticed, why is she wearing a Nightmare Before Christmas dress in March? That's a little weird. Whatever. But I think she lended far more credence to the idea that she has NPD than BPD, because all of the behaviors that she claims match up with that BPD workbook are far better explained and easier to match up to her with NPD. So, I mean, obviously we knew that. This isn't a surprise at all. But anyway, I'm interested to see how far she takes this BPD pretending to be in therapy kind of thing. Because we know she's not. You know, she lets it slip every once in a while. She's constantly saying, like, I decided to do this book, not my therapist recommended me do this part of it or whatever. She's just doing it. You know, she's just pretending like it's part of her therapy. So I think she's in this one for the long haul because it gives her validation. It gives her some way to look like a hero, like she's so brave for her fans. And so she'll milk this for as long as she can. I don't think there's really any stopping it, because the only people that will push back and say, hey, you should probably look at NPD, or we don't believe you're going to therapy, or anything like that, are the reaction channels, because she doesn't have anybody else in her life. Nobody that's willing to speak up or say anything. So yeah, she'll just keep milking this BPD thing ad infinitum, I guess. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.